Alright guys, got the 6 Creedmoor here. So if you're paying attention in the last video, um, I said that I was having a little bit of problems with this gun, and that is the case. So kind of the story on this guy, um, I've been doing a bunch of load development on this thing, trying to get, decent groups out of it. So that being said, I actually do have a really nice velocity note on this thing. 3150 seems to be a really sweet spot on this barrel. However, my groups are kind of, well, a bit of a mystery. I keep getting, flyers. And in the last video I mentioned, it's hanging around a 1/2 inch group. And I'll show you the groups and why I'm not happy with that. And it's really because, I'll throw 2 in the same hole and then I'll get a flyer 1/2 inch away. You know what I mean? And they all do that. So, I'm just kind of working through that. So I've run 87 grain VMAXs, 87 grain boat tail hollow points, some 80 grain Sierra, 75 VMAX, 95 VLDs are what I'm working on now. And I kind of like those. I mean, that's what I've been shooting lately. But anyways, I do have my borescope in here, and I just wanted to kind of show you kind of the barrel at this point. I've done a deep clean on this thing, and I'm not quite done with it. I'll show you with the scope here, but I actually, in the original video, when we borescoped this thing, we saw some pitting and some tooling marks, things like that, which is unfortunate. I'm kind of unhappy about that with this barrel, especially when my other Criterion barrel was like a mirror. Okay, that 204 is an amazing rifle. All right, but not the same barrel quality. Okay, so I did get some abrasives out, which I really don't do very often at all. It's kind of like a punt, right? It's like our last ditch effort here to try to make something happen. But I did scrub this thing out, and it's funny, my feed has been showing up with a lot of rifle cleaning videos, right? And what I'm learning is cleaning with an abrasive is it's just part of the gig, right? It can be a regular occurrence, especially since barrels are kind of consumables. You want to keep them in pretty good shape. What made me kind of pull the trigger and go to abrasives is I did pick up some copper. I am seeing some carbon, but I wouldn't say it's anything excessive as far as the look of it, but the feel of it when you're pushing the rod through the barrel. We get about 3/4 of the way down the barrel, and when we run into the copper, it's pretty rough. Okay, it's not that smooth push. Sometimes you get this thing, because I clean with CLR and finish it off with alcohol. Okay, when you're pushing the alcohol through there, you get a vibration that happens in these barrels, and you get a nice pitch, right? And really what I've noticed is when the barrel is super clean, that pitch, that it maintains the whole way through the barrel. But when you run into something, it changes the pitch, right? So keep that in mind. And you don't have to use CLR. I know some people aren't a fan of that, but I've been using it on the stainless steel stuff I got. I really like it. But the alcohol wipe to finish it off is a pretty good telltale sign on how clean you are. Anyways, enough yapping here. I've got my borescope in here, and we'll take a look here. Let me get this guy kind of running. All right, so borescope's in here. We'll back this guy out and get to the chamber. Take a look at the throat here. And I'm just using a Teslon flexible scope. And you can see it's pretty clean. There's a little bit of, I wouldn't think, well, maybe that's carbon there. Most of the discoloration is heat, right? You see the nickel kind of coming out of it from the heat on that thing. Lands are in pretty good shape. Nothing's, not a firecracker or nothing like that. This thing's probably only got 200 rounds to it. I have to look at the computer. But you can see right away I got some copper on the lands right out of the gate, okay? Some discoloration, some darkness, right? And this is after scrubbing it with the, abrasives. So, it kind of fades away, right, as we go down the barrel. And there's a nick right there, a pit. The riflings are unusually bad in this thing, I would say, compared to my 204, which is the only other data point I got. But you can see there's a pit right there. A little bit disappointed in that, but we got a little bit of carbon. We're gonna have to get rid of some of this stuff. It really doesn't. The barrel doesn't run dirty. It really doesn't. I didn't do much of a break-in process on this thing at all. I just cleaned it really well and then started shooting it. But yeah, it doesn't take much to get the copper out of it. The carbon comes out pretty well. It's not like super hogged up, but these pits definitely grab some copper, and there's quite a few of them down towards the end, down towards the muzzle end of this thing, which again is a little bit disappointing. But if you remember the original video with this thing, this barrel, after running the abrasives through here, is much shinier, right? So it's a little bit better. The push, the rod push through the barrel is really smooth. I mean, silky smooth, which is what we want. I had one comment about maybe the crown being damaged. There's a little piece of fiber on there. This crown looks fine. I mean, I can't find any chips or dings or trash or anything like that on the end of this thing. It's not too bad. So anyways, I've got some carbon removal to do, and I've soaked this thing a ton. You can see when you pull this thing out, it goes from nice and bright, and you can see as it gets darker, right, we start to get into the carbon. Okay, so I'm going to do like an overnight soak on this thing and see if we can get it finished off, and we'll go out and get the rest of this load development done. Let's take a look at the groups real quick. I'll show you what I've been getting here. All right, so here's a set of seating depth tests. Like I said, I've got a nice node at 3150 on this thing. So I did 3 thou increments for some seating depth, and I did try. This is with 95 grain Birder VLDs, which I kind of like those things. It's because my extreme spreads with these bullets, and the brass has about 4 or 5 turns on it now, so it's really come down. My ES numbers are right around 10. Okay, so I finally got those down, finally got that figured out, and found a nice node. And the 95s are really kind of where I want to live. But anyways, I got 3 thou increments on this thing, and this is what I'm saying. It's like my first 2 shots would be almost in the same hole, and I got a flyer. This one's whatever, right? 2 shots in the same hole, got a little bit of a drifter. Got 2 in the same hole, got a little bit of a drifter. The group sizes aren't too bad. It's 0.45, a 0.7, a 0.38, a 0.56. But they're kind of weird, right? I wouldn't mind groups like this if these were like 1/2 inch little, kind of isosceles triangle or equilateral triangle kind of thing, but it's not. It's this weird flyer. I don't like these flyers, so I'm just working through that, and I've got my next batch of seating depth tests ready to go here. So that's where I'm at with the Creed. I'm not ready to punt or like get ticked off and take that barrel off, but because this is fine. This is probably okay for 250, 300 yard type stuff. We're gonna go get us a deer here in a month with G, see if she can do it again this year, and this is fine for that. But if I want to shoot things at 600-700 yards, I really kind of want this a little bit better than this. Okay, so that's where we're at with the 6 Creed. The next video we have on that, we'll go to the range and see how we make out as we continue our seating depth. Now, when I go and shoot these guys at the range, I start with the barrel totally scrubbed down, okay, every time, and then go and do my sets. So, all right, very good. Thanks for watching, guys. That's all I got for you on this quick one here. Next one, like I said, will be at the range, so we'll get into some fun. All right, thanks.